Bursting at the seams with comedy. There's something for everyone with Gold on Demand.
Me? Me too? The 13th Duke of Wimbledon? On the Fast Show? 20-odd years ago? With my reputation, I don't think so. I was never in the so-called Fast Show. I was in Pizza Express, not sweating, despite having an American hottie. I couldn't remember Billy Joel's name the other day. Yeah. We should get together more often, you know. It's years since we've all been in one place.
Yeah. It's not all of us, though, is it?
No. Here's to Caroline.
Yeah.
Caroline. Oh, I do miss her.
But no one like her, mate.
You say that again.
Yeah, well, that was the thing about the show. It was a real good mix of different personalities, so everybody brought something unique to it.
Do you know, it's been over 25 years since we did the first series.
God. How long ago was it?
What?
The first series.
Well, must be 25 years.
Yes, it was 1994.
It was 1994.
Really? That long?
You know what? We should do something, some sort of programme to, you know, mark that milestone, to commemorate it, like a celebration or something.
You know what? I think we should do something to mark it.
That's not a bad idea as it goes. You know, some sort of commemorative show, really.
Yeah, it's a celebration.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, but how would we make it different? I mean, we've done documentaries about the Fast Show before.
How about us talking about the show as ourselves, but also as some of the characters talking about it, you know, like it was a reality show and our characters had been real people?
What if, I don't know, just thinking out loud here, what if we pretended it was a reality show and the characters were real people?
Oh, I see, right, and then we get the characters to act as talking heads.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Brilliant.
Buono estente.
Buono estente.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, I'm Ed Winchester.
People got hold of it very quickly, and like they do, it's theirs then.
Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried?
Anyone fancy a pint? It's dragging on a bit, isn't it?
It got a proper cult following. It had really, really devoted fans.
Brace yourselves, ladies. I'm coming in dry. There is a timelessness about a lot of the characters.
Does she want it, sir? You what? Your fiancée. Does she want it, sir?
I think there were so many different characters in it that people recognised.
Someone's sitting there, mate.
I think it was really, really English.
Hey, how you doing? Dave Angel here again.
We all felt very strongly that we delivered the goods.
Bringing you all that's best in the world of jazz. Nice.
We were doing recognisable characters, you know, with the volume slightly turned up.
I'd say this was a mite more important than your social life, wouldn't you?
Me and Gary go to the pub. Got me fancy drink?
Well, I can come.
I think that appealed to people, and I think it was clever.
Whistles. You know what they're made of, don't you? Heroes, aisles and arseholes, you love them.
It's just basically silly.
I'm an alien! I'm an alien!
Delightfully silly.
People grew to like the characters, to love the characters.
I wouldn't know about that, sir.
They always like going back and revisiting.
It's a little bit woo, a little bit wee, a little bit dodgy. I'm a geezer, aren't I?
People would just say the single words to you in the street.
Brilliant.
Gotcha!
Al queer.
Butros Gali.
You know, I think appearing on a comedy sketch show is very much like making love to a beautiful woman.
This week, I'll be mostly eating salt.
Hey, how you doing?
No offence.
Small boys in the park. Jumpers for goalpost.
Which was nice.
Black! Black! Black!
Nice.
I was very, very drunk.
Well, yes, the Fast Show. What can one say?
It was a BBC Two comedy sketch show which aired during the 1990s with various extra bits and bobs limping into the new millennium. A loose-knit, rag-bag collection of comic characters which somehow managed to unite the television-watching public by its sheer Englishness, like a century of Punch, cartwheeling down a hill, hitting various cultural bullet points as it gathered speed. A plethora of mortal cartoons buffeting your senses. Its prime objective was to shorten the sketch format, condensing it on occasion to 5 words, 4 words, 1 word. Does my bum look big in this? Arse. I was drunk. I shall get my coat. Put your knickers on and make me a cup of tea. But was it really any good?
It was properly funny, and it was sometimes you'd have to gather your breath.
We threw everything at that first series. We wanted it to be as different as possible with as wide a range of stuff.
The unpronounceable.
Some stuff was shot very beautifully on film. Some stuff was shot very beautifully on location.
Booga!
Some stuff shot very cheaply in the studio.
Mi stutucanthos e porthe Chris Waddle. Pitheteros mathetoros poco e fandaros Jean-Pierre Papin. Filandaro antakolopos Vlasnia Chais dance spectacular.
There's monologues to camera, there's sketches and tiny little, what would you call them? Sketchlets.
You ain't seen me. Right.
Our idea was just to make it, God, here's something else completely different.
Hello, you simple northern folk. We're Cockneys. Yes. East End, born and bred. We love our old mums.
Hello, have you any jellied eels?
Ah, that's right. Cockneys. We're hard as nails, but lovable and cheeky with it.
It was exactly what it said on the tin. It was fast.
Chelsea 2, United 1. Zola in the last minute of extra time. Put a monkey on it. Monster, monster, monster.
We capitalised on that kind of quick, yeah, oh, that's good, that's funny, that's it, yeah. It worked. It worked a treat.
Oh, the waiter, he was cheeky, you know, a real Cockney type, but nice with it, you know. And he said to Roy, he said, is this your daughter about me? And Roy said, no, it's my wife. What did you say, Roy?
It's me trouble and strife.
Don't make me beat you again.
We'd go from Ted and Ralph to Brilliant to Jessie coming out of a shed, and there would be no relevance. So it was very much, yeah, if you don't like this, there's another one coming along.
We're waiting for the signal to start, and I can tell you my heart is in my mouth.
Yeah, so where are your bollocks then?
You read my bollocks out of this, Lindsay, and just read them. Right. Go, it's Briggs. Salted. Go, 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 go. Stay ahead, stop it, keep it. Change in a second. Good, go, up and sleeping bag. Now, right. Jesus.
So I left. I think we were quite conscious of never being cruel or sneery with our characters, and
We tried to give all of them an inner life, if we could.
Are you interested in French cinema at all, Ted?
I wouldn't know about that, sir.
No, indeed no.
There's definitely a warmth to it. And also, sometimes their sketches are really sad.
I held her in my arms. I'm afraid I was very drunk.
You think, this isn't funny, but you're still happily watching it. And it's sort of, you then go, do sketches have to be funny? Can they just be little short moments that you enjoy?
Come on, girls. Excuse me. Come on, that's it, come on.
They weren't just funny, they had this real knack of hitting something that you could relate to.
Look, dressing attractively for a funeral is no joke. Look, while we're at it, may as well tell me, does my bum look big in this suit?
Remember, this was an odd political period when the nation was thrown into the hands of Tony Blair. whose strange combination of pop-up charm and lukewarm Christianity, combined with his odd decision for a politician to only bed his wife, somehow deluded the great British public into thinking it was 1966, and everything was going to be great. Oasis, Viz, Massive Attack, Loaded, Manchester United, Bridget Jones' Diary, The River Cafe, and above them all, Buzz Damien Hirst Blue Bottles, emerging fresh from the carcass of Francis Bacon, only to be electrocuted again and 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 again. Was the whole thing a fever dream? Perhaps we shall never know. But one thing is certain, I'm getting paid a lot less now than I was back then.
Were you out with a lady last night, sir?
Oh, did she want it, sir?
Did she, sir?
Did she?
Did she want it, sir?
Never be able to say any of that now, Kenneth, would you?
Not a word of it.
When we were in the Fast Show, attitudes were very different, weren't they, Kenneth?
Yes, Ken. Back then, in the good old days, you could say whatever you liked. It was a free-for-all. Anything went, and anything went anywhere, and frequently did. Oh, suit you, sir.
Oh, can you actually fit that in there, sir? Oh, give it a try, eh, sir? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. No one batted an eyelid if you said, "Were you out with the lady last night, sir? Did she want it, sir?"
Oh, suit you, sir. They often do want it, don't they, sir?
Oh, suit you.
We wouldn't be able to say any of that these days.
Never get away with that anymore.
Long gone are the days when you could innocently ask of a couple whether it was carnal between the pair of you last night. Oh, as you staggered out of the pub into the car park.
Oh, and humped each other senseless by the bins, lost in a frenzy of desire like a couple of dogs. Oh, suit you. Oh.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Oh, suit you.
Oh. We'd never get away with stuff like that today.
Sadly not.
They are based on a bloke who worked at Hackney Council, and it's, "How are you today, sir? Were you out with the lady last night, sir?" "Oh, suit you, sir." Oh. And so it was round at Auntie's at the weekend. "Not long for Auntie now, sir." Yeah, so that, it was a sort of combination of him and gentlemen's tailors that we had experienced when we were young. And there's lots of over-familiarity in the changing room there. Plenty of room in there. "Young fella, me lad, look, I can get my hand in."
Come on, Janet, I've enough. Come on.
Ever been to a cockfight, sir? Two proud cocks, peak condition, advancing, menacingly, erect, ready to do battle. Brutal, sir. Brutal, but strangely compelling. They never give up, sir. Suit you, sir. Suit you.
Suit you, sir. Well, I can't really remember the genesis of it being a double act, but my thing was to mirror Paul, really. And not a lot of double acts do that, where they're the same. It was a different double act, that, in the sense that they're not two sides of a coin. They're the same, aren't we? We are. So when you get to, it has a choral value.
I cannot stop laughing. It's in Suit You, Sir, and I just can't stop laughing.
Ken, summer suit, easy drop.
Easy drop, is it?
Easy drop, Ken.
Suit you, sir.
I couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it back. And I remember Paul getting a bit cross with me, saying, "You've got to stop laughing." And I was going, "Well, I can't."
Picture you now, sir, strolling through the park, your cream suit, fresh, crisp, flowing beautifully as you push your lady wife up against a tree and give her a jolly good seeing to. Suit you. What did you say then?
My favourite portion of Suit You was Paul over his shoulder going, like a frightened deer in the forest.
Is she a pale girl, sir? Doe-eyed, sir?
Like a frightened deer in a woodland glade, sir, cornered by the hounds.
Does she make this sort of noise, sir? Goodbye.
one point I remember saying to Paul that actually you can make anything dirty, smutty. Train spotting. 262, sir. Atlantic. Bit bigger than the Pacific, isn't it, sir? Oh, ladies like a 262, don't they? Close coupled, large tender.
Should we go to our club, Kenneth?
For gentlemen.
Behind closed doors, sir.
Suit you.
I'll put the shop to bed, sir.
Do it now, sir.
Suit you, sir.
Suit you, sir. Oh.
Could you remind me who the other performers on the Fast Show were?
John came as a package with Simon.
Simon was doing Tommy Cockles. Caroline, bless her, was doing Sister Mary Immaculate. I was doing Bernard Wright-on, the politically correct Bernard Manning.
There's a black fella, Pakistani, and a Jew in a nightclub. What a fine example of an integrated community.
And Paul poached us when we were doing Paramount City on BBC One at the Windmill Theatre.
Black people say to me, Sister Mary, have you ever kissed the Pope's ring? I'm proud to say I have fine ring it was to a lovely cluster.
It was really important to us to have strong female writers, performers on the show.
We were all in the BBC bar, and they went in their very sort of casual way. They went, "Oh, we're going to do our own show, and you're quite funny. Do you want to do bits in that?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." But I didn't sort of, I didn't think, "Oh, this is going to change my life" or anything. I just thought, "Oh, yeah, all right, I'll do a bit in that." But then, of course, I'd been doing a lot of bits in guys' shows: Lenny Henry, Harry Enfield, Alexi Sale. I'd been the girl in a lot of men's sketch shows.
It was a bad idea staying at home. We should have gone out to that restaurant.
Right, that does it. Come on, Vera.
I didn't realise that my contribution to the Fast Show would end up being as great as it was. I thought I might just be doing a little bit more than woman in sketch.
We mainly got her in to play a character alongside Caroline, which was, I suppose, it being the 90s, I suppose you could describe them as ladettes.
Bella, you've got to save my life.
What is it, darling?
I just copped off with the most gorgeous guy, Keanu Reeves' head, Limpid Christie body. And I come out completely unprepared. You know what men are like.
Bastards.
Exactly. So I can't rely on him to have a line. I wonder if you've got any spares.
I always carry spares. You never know when you're going to need them. Here you are, darling.
Great. Oh, go on, let's have the Satsuma.
Oh, God.
One of the things that Paul and I had been developing was we got commissioned to write a couple of sitcom pilots. One of them was a thing called Dead at 30, which wasn't the greatest pilot in the world, but when we were auditioning for that, a fantastic actor came in called Mark Williams.
I'm a slave to Gunter, the Swiss god of tidiness. Every night I pray to him, "Dear Gunter, please deliver me from vast accumulations of dust and fluff your tidiness."
He had such an energy and enthusiasm and a spirit about him.
Oh, you didn't want to come in on the M25 this morning? There were 10 more tailbacks causing 4-hour delays.
Just said, didn't come in on the M25.
Very bright as well, Mark.
Very bright and...
Almost too bright.
And just a naturally funny guy.
You didn't want to come in the M25, you didn't want to come in the M25, you didn't want to come in the M25. I bloody didn't!
And we thought, if we ever do anything else, we want to get him back.
It's that rock family tree matrix Venn diagram of everything. So that led to all the other stuff.
I toured with Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. Charlie was involved with that too. And I did characters, and Paul Whitehouse would come and see me do Tommy Cockles.
Now, during the war, we had to go off and entertain the troops, you see. It was either that or fight and die, and I didn't quite fancy that, I can assure you.
He said, one day we're doing a show with characters. You'd be good in it. Do you want to be in it?
My first TV at Granada was The Weekenders with Vic and Bob.
Right, you lot better come with me to the station.
Paul played a coach driver, a Welsh coach driver on that.
I know you do. You murdered my brother and his family. Brutally mind.
I remember Bob Mortimer actually weed because of Paul's performance. He did have a little wee from laughing.
Well, you don't get away with that sort of behaviour with me.
Even when we started filming, we were still trying to pull the team together. It was all quite fluid. We weren't really sure how it was all going to work. And we very much wanted it to be a team show. It wasn't going to be the Paul Whitehouse show, although he was the biggest star on it. So we were always looking at bringing other people in.
Hi, I was Ed Winchester.
When you're selling a car to a woman, you have to imagine you're making love to her. You have to seduce her. And when she buys, that's the big O, orgasm central.
What was fun about playing Swiss Tony for me is that Swiss has a lot of swagger and bluster and at least superficial confidence. So it was quite nice for me. So I'm more of a fairly sort of shy, reserved person. It was nice to be able to be possessed by someone with a different nature.
Yes, I'm Swiss Tony. So named because I'm built like an Alp and ridged like a Toblerone, and any ladies who scale my peak can't stop yodeling. Since the car sales market has largely moved online, I now give aspirational talks on salesmanship. I also have my own website where you can buy fine wines, Belgian chocolates, and vaping fluid with the manly smell of a pipe.
Swiss Tony, I originally did on Smell of Reeves and Mortimer. I used to do odd characters for them.
All those sketches were written by Bob Mortimer, and so he would be very good at coming up with a filthy, sort of like making love to a beautiful woman is a bit like this, this and this.
It was just a vehicle for a sketch from me and Jim playing the Bra Men, they were called, two characters called the Bra Men, and we were dealing with this slightly unusual car salesman.
Good afternoon, Swiss Tony.
Hello, Swiss. We've heard a lot about you, but not all of it good.
I used to write the Swiss Tonys, I think. I seem to remember doing that.
And you could sort of tell they were written by Bob, if you know Bob, really, because they were dirty.
I can picture you now, driving along in the summer with your top down.
It was based on a drawing, and Vic would always do these drawings and he'd put measurements on them, which were usually quite arbitrary.
Then our lovely makeup people would bring, you know, their versions of bouffant haircuts, their versions of silvery suits.
People often ask me if it was difficult appearing on a comedy sketch show, and I have a useful analogy for that. You know, I think appearing on a comedy sketch show is very much like making love to a beautiful woman. Before you go on, check your dirty bits for anything that might offend. Now, you might want to start off by using your best gag, or you might prefer a softer approach and warm them up with a bit of rib tickling to get their titters out. Then, is there an unexpected twist in the proceedings and you explore the dark side? Or do you rely on repetition, doing the same thing over and over again relentlessly until they come round to your way of thinking? Once you've got them rolling around on the floor in hysterics, gasping for breath and wetting themselves, it's time to deliver the big one and finish them off. Afterwards, once they've wiped the smiles off their faces, don't hang around and overstay your welcome. Get out of there fast.
Hello there, Bob Fleming here, and today we'll be looking at fishing tackle.
We both loved Jack Hargreaves, who presented a show about country matters from his garden shed.
In the stream that flows under the trees behind that little market that I last used this little trap for catching quantities of small fish bought in France.
And we said, well, it wouldn't be great to sort of warmly nostalgic nod to Jack Hargreaves. We'd both been to university in Norwich, and I'd always been intrigued by the Norwich accent, which is what I was attempting to do with Bob Fleming. So all those elements came together, but at its core, it was a character who coughs.
The type of waiter I prefer is not the... excuse me. Not the smaller type. Which is really just a Wellington.
With characters that just do one thing, and you can't do a lot more with them, you've constantly got to think, what can we bring in and add to it to keep it going? So we came up with the idea of him having a group of friends who each have a different affliction, particularly Jed Tucker, played by Paul, who is completely incapable of stopping himself from shouting out, "Arse!"
This is a plane, and it was arse. Made in Tiverton in Devon about 100 and arse years ago.
Mark had a character who sneezed a lot.
The most interesting thing about these brasses is that...
But then, you know, I think to add to the joke is the fact that he's completely oblivious that he's coughing. He doesn't think anyone is going to notice. The best thing we ever did, probably with Bob Fleming, was the CD that he'd brought out of his folking favourites.
Froggy went to cotton and he did right. Froggy went to cotton and he did right.
When we did the live show, that was always a highlight, because it was great that we could get a lot of us on stage together doing one sketch, which was, yes, coughing, shouting, arse, sneezing.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more.
Right, ready about now, are we? OK. Hello there, Bob Fleming here. Now, I first appeared on the Fast Show way back in 1994, when they asked me to come on and talk about country matters. Now, I don't like to watch myself on the old goggle box, but for doing this show, I thought I'd better refresh the old memory and watch a couple of episodes. And do you know what? I noticed something. In one or two programmes, I had a slight tickle in my throat. It's not something the average viewer would have noticed, but when it's you, or you're especially self-critical, aren't you? But as I say, I think I got away with it, and my tubes are as clear as... as clear as daylight these days, and I've now got a new regular presenting job on the BBC. And now, there they are. After tracking the baboons for several weeks, at last we find them, sheltering under some fever trees near to a... Oh, that's got it. We met at the University of East Anglia in Norwich in 1977. I suppose that was a sort of peak of punk rock music.
Yes.
And we both sort of gravitated towards other people who had shorter hair and straighter trousers. Back then, if you wanted to ask about and impress your mates, have a laugh, and go on stage, you'd form a band. It would never have crossed our mind to do a comedy act.
Instant would it have crossed our minds to be comedians.
So we formed a student punk band instead.
Which was comedy in its own right.
Called the Right Hand Lovers.
Is there anything more wondrous on this planet than a student punk band with a rude name?
No, I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either. It's the pinnacle of human achievement.
It didn't last long because Paul was thrown out of university.
Hey!
You're a rebel, aren't you? Thrown out of university in Norwich.
Yeah, that's hard to do, isn't it? I went back to London. I got some sort of jobs. You know, work, Charlie, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, work, yeah? Understand that concept, do you, mate? And Charlie stayed
I stayed with it.
swanning around.
I got a pretty good degree.
A pretty good degree,
Formed
yeah.
another band, and I was a professional singer for 6 years.
Modestly named the Higsons.
Which was work.
It's not work. I worked for Hackney Council.
Doing what?
Just
Sitting around doing sod all.
No, I worked really hard.
Doing what?
And then
Never quite know what you actually did.
I
for
worked
Hackney
for the Environmental Health Department, Land Registry.
So what were you actually doing?
We closed down a lot of businesses. Don't you worry about that. They got cockroaches, close them down, that sort of thing. And then I became a plasterer, as you well know, Charlie, for about 5 years, and we would join forces.
Paul and I ended up in London in Hackney, and we got to know Harry Enfield.
We go to the same pub, the Brunswick, every night. People would say, who makes you laugh? Expected me to say Rowan Atkinson. I say my mate in the pub. He makes me laugh. But who's your favourite comedian? My mate in the pub. And that was Geoffrey Perkins really said to me, this mate in the pub you keep on going on about. Why don't you get him in to write? So we did.
Harry Enfield is the key to our success, full stop. Harry really gave us the opportunity via Saturday Night and Friday Night Live to do a 2-minute sketch every week and reach a very big audience, because it was there were only 4 channels in those days.
What's that then? No, it ain't! It's loads more money!
Harry had always been very keen to try and get Paul to do some kind of comedy. So Paul is, or was, your archetypal funny mate down the pub who can impersonate everyone, do characters, tell jokes and make everyone laugh. He's changed now, he's lost it all.
Are we talking about me?
Yes, we are. You remember the comedy?
Oh, yeah, I like
Yes.
the comedy,
Yes.
yeah.
Fantastic. That was the Beatles. Beatles, don't you? With 8 days a week.
It's only 7 days in a week, mate.
Right, thanks, mate.
Don't mention it.
But I think you find that what the Beatles, I love the Beatles, don't you, were saying.
I don't care what the Beatles, I love the Beatles, don't you, was saying, mate. There's only 7 days in a week. Never longer, never shorter. It's the law.
Geoffrey Perkins, who was our producer, put together a little taster for the press. We had a sort of press launch, but we hadn't edited the whole series yet. So he just took a few tiny clips of jokes, put them all together. They did that, and then the press asked me questions. I thought nothing of it. I just talked about me. But Paul and Charlie and Geoffrey, Paul and Charlie had sort of seen it and gone, wow, that was better than the series will ever be. And they said to Jeff, can we do something like that?
It was a revelation watching that package.
Mm.
I'm just thinking, could you try and do a comedy show that was just the highlights? And that was what eventually became The Fast Show.
Tuesday on BBC Two at 10 o'clock. Brilliant!
I could tell straight away that everyone was really super talented, but I don't think I had any notion that it would catch with people, but then you don't, do you?
We were all sort of very hungry at that time and wanted to sort of show everyone, there was that sort of, got that feeling. We wanted to sort of show what we could do.
At the time, a lot of people, when it started, were bewildered because there were things like traditionally in a sketch show, if you have a running gag character who does something, they're on for 10, 15 seconds, and once you've watched 3 of them, you're kind of, I get the joke, this is what they do, and then it leads to a climax. You'd run that through one show.
Yeah.
But we said, no, we run it through the whole series. So people would watch an episode and say, well, what on earth was that?
Hi, I'm Ed Winchester.
But it went out, and we were proud of it.
Yeah.
We knew it had
when
its
it started,
strengths.
some people liked it, some people didn't like it. We didn't have massive viewing figures. The figures slowly grew during the series, but what it did was it got a proper cult following.
Global warming. It sounds complicated, but in a nutshell, old Mother Earth is heating up like a dirty great big cake. And if we're not careful, the icing's going to melt. Something's got to give, because old Mother Earth, she's give just about enough. The world's turning, and we're not learning. Shirley, what are you doing, babe? Shirley! Oh, for crying out loud, Shirley, you can't burn tyres here. It's National Trust property, babe.
I was obsessed with Mike Reed. I read his book, Triffic, and I don't know why I was obsessed with him. Those sort of 70s comedians, it's a different world, isn't it? You know, all they care about with that character is the walk, the moonlight shadow and the walk. And see, that is all people really want from that character. I'm happy to do it. I never do it, you know, I don't do it in the street for people, but that is basically what that character has been boiled down to. For some reason, it's funny.
Hey, how you doing? Long time no see, my friends. Dave Angel is back. Now, as you know, I was the first human man to notice the old currant bun was getting a bit lively. So I turned my life over to saving the planet. And I wanted to use the Fast Show as a soapbox to spread my message afar and wide. I had a few successes. Raising awareness of the carnage down in the old rainforests with Stingo, binning aerosols and banning baked beans in all schools in Essex to reduce child methane emissions. But I'm afraid man is just too greedy, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. So as far as saving the planet is concerned, I've hung up my trilby and handed over the hot baton of climate change to the school children. And let's hope they can build a beautiful new world. Luckily, there are many young people out there who have jumped on the Angel bandwagon. A young lady by the name of Miss Greta Thunberg is doing a far better job than I ever could because, one, she's not married to Shirley, and two, she can reach hundreds of thousands of people by social media platforms. In my day, I had to stand on platform 7 at Arrow on the Hill and bark at commuters who were loudhailer.
Can I just say at this point that these theories in no way affected my research and my philosophy?
And what exactly are you researching at the moment, Professor Dexter?
Space bats.
I had a vision of how technology could save mankind. When they first heard my idea, people said, "Hey, you're crazy." That's because I am.
How would you like to pay?
Credit card, okay?
Well, a word of advice. Aren't you just relying on the never? Can you actually afford an exclusive scent such as this? You see, I notice you're not wearing a wedding ring, which, given your age, means you're divorced or a lesbian. In either case, you might like to ask yourself if, in fact, scent isn't just a complete waste of time. No offence.
Well, since our days on the Fast Show, as you can tell, I have not aged one bit. Unlike the rest of them, no offence. As you can see, I've kept myself in tip-top shape with my rigorous devotion to my now internationally renowned personal hygiene regime. Unlike the lads, oh my word, have you seen them? They are decrepit and they're dressed like homeless people. No offence, that is to homeless people. And the smell, my God, it would make the strongest man retch. And I'm not talking about the homeless, oh no. I don't go near them. Naturally, I give them a very wide berth. No, I'm referring to Hickson and Whitehouse, specifically. Do you know, I don't think either of them has washed since we last met. Maybe they live on a farm or something, I don't know. My milieu is now a much higher class of individual, as you'd expect. So after the Fast Show, I started a YouTube makeup tutorial, which has proven to be hugely successful, particularly with girls hoping to make their way either on reality television or by sleeping with footballers. Either way, I have to say it's the absolutely ideal route to success for girls who've dropped out of school with no qualifications. No offence.
Right, so this is the library at the University of East Anglia where Paul and I first met, which has my archive downstairs. I can't believe it. It's like over 40 years I first came here. It hasn't changed much. I spent quite a lot of time in the library. I don't think Paul even knew where it was. So this is the Fast Show from here to
this is all your VHS collection that you donated. So at the top we've got the ones from the Fast Show, things like your compilations and your pre-edits, and all of these brown boxes are your sketches, your scripts, your notebooks, any doodles, anything from your personal collection.
Okay. Scripts. That looks like the pilot script. This is what we touted round to commissioners to try and get the thing made. It starts with Ed Winchester, which is how the very first Fast Show programme did end up starting.
Hi, I'm Ed Winchester.
Fat Sweaty Coppers, they ended up in the series.
Come on, open up! Out, Nicky, come on! Open up! Last chance, Nicky! Last chance! Last chance, Nicky!
So when we were writing for a series, Paul and I would just get together and just generate as many sketches as we could, for as many characters as we could. And obviously the other writer-performers would be writing, and we would also get scripts in from established sketch writers and members of the public.
You had an enormous amount of material which got weeded down, and then that got weeded down again in rehearsal. And there was really an egalitarian attitude, which is that if we didn't think it was funny, there was always a feeling that that's not what. And then during filming, things would fall down, and then during the edit. So the distillation was important.
If anyone out there wants to become a professional scriptwriter, got some good examples of how to present your script. This is how Simon Day used to get his scripts to us. But the important thing is the content, and they were very funny. This is Competitive Dad. Competitive Dad is working at his desk, his wife is washing up, the phone rings, his wife answers it. These must be some of the first Competitive Dad scripts he wrote.
Competitive Dad was a bit based on my dad. My dad was public school, my mum was working class, so I had quite a strange upbringing.
Right, come along, Toby, you'll go. Quick. 4. No, I'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mayfair. My property. My hotel. That'll be £2,000, please, young man.
I've only got £300 left.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but you must pay the fee demanded. £2,000, please.
He's only got 300, love.
I'd rather you didn't interrupt, dear. He must learn the value of money.
The thing that was so depressing was that every single person would say, that's my dad. And you'd think, oh, my God, it is that generic. You know, the dad trying to do better than his children.
A guy I saw in a swimming pool, this is before I had kids, racing his 2 children, and one of them had water wings on, and he beat them, and then were going like that. And I thought, man, that is sick. And the amount of people that have come up and said, oh, you've got me, I'm Competitive Dad.
Thank you. Right then, that's 8, love. Game point. Give this man a wink.
That was what that was based on, you know, that strange thing of, you know, of men wanting to beat their kids and stuff, which in Russia or somewhere in the sort of 30s, it was more serious. You wrestled your dad probably, but it came from that.
Ah, yes. The Fast Show. Haven't worked much since then, if at all, truth be known. More than 25 years. Gosh. Still, one soldiers on. Natasha's been a rock, of course, but it's been tricky. Actually, the thing that saved us is the villa her father left her on the Greek island of Thymnos. We do go there rather a lot. In fact, we were there recently skinny dipping off a completely deserted beach when Tash suddenly started screaming in agony. She'd stepped on a sea urchin, of course. What you have to do is rinse the wound in urine. I know, but I just couldn't pee. But then, stroke of luck, Ariel, the little mermaid, popped up out of the surf and pissed on my wife's foot. Which was nice.
Does my bum look big in this? Might probably be
along with Suit You, I would say it's probably the most...
The biggest catchphrase to come out of the show.
Come out of the show, yeah.
Good morning, Miss Schumacher. Thank you very much for stopping. Do you realise why I pulled you over?
It's the jacket, isn't it? Doesn't work with this top. Change your skirt, maybe? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should have worn different earrings? Something a bit more dangly down, a bit more fun, maybe look a bit more crazy? I don't know. Now, listen, should I have worn my hair up, a bit more grown up? Might have made me look a bit severe, though. I know what you're thinking. Make my face look all puffy and bloated, wouldn't it? No, listen, come back. I want to know. I need to know the truth. Does my bum look big in this car?
Does my bum look big in this was my catchphrase. I mean, it was literally what I used to say all the time, and I didn't even mean it. It was in no shape or form supposed to be funny. I was obsessed with the size of my bum, and I genuinely used to ask everybody that I was close to every time I wore anything if my bum looked big in it.
It wasn't particularly a character, was it?
No.
It was her, not as herself, but...
It was next week's show, Insecure Woman.
Look, does my bum look big in this?
And obviously it's stuck.
Yeah.
Because it struck such a chord.
She was supposed to be every woman. That's why she didn't have a distinct look. So whatever she was doing, High Court judge, sex worker, you know, housewife, the idea was that she was every single woman in the world.
Does my bum look big in this?
That was my entire life. Yeah, that I thought if I had a small bum and boobs that stood up on their own, I'd be perfect.
I was educated at the Woodrow Wilson Institute of Science between the years 1967 and 1969. At this time, people like Professor Timothy Leary were advocating philosophies such as tune in, turn on, drop out, and there was also the heavy use of hallucinogenic drugs. Can I just say at this point that these theories in no way affected my research and my philosophy?
And what exactly are you researching at the moment, Professor Dexter?
Space bats.
I have to give a great deal of credit for Denzel was myself and a Scotsman who was in Steve Coogan's year at drama school, whose name was Alan Francis. Oh, Alan, and he does the stand-up circuit, Alan. And me and Alan used to do a thing together at drama school called Talking Through a Hole in Your Beard. And we would do it together. It was based on the BBC late-night Open University scientists who would talk about quantum physics and relatable mechanics and pure maths and it was those things, and you just sit there and going, what is this about? But I think stoners really loved it because they thought they could probably get a grasp on the odd equation and, you know, did see space bats. And that's where Denzel is. So he's a hippie scientist, genius, but with a psychedelic twist. Hi, I'm Denzel Dexter, and founder of the tech company Commozoid, and currently the 6th richest man in the world, by accident. Safe to say, a lot of water has passed under the Golden Gate Bridge since I last did the Fast Show. After overdosing on laboratory-grade DMT, also known as the spirit molecule, oh, it's really great. It takes you to places that you... Is that Dave? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep, sorry, Dave. Yeah, you're right. Those days are behind me. So, Dave said to me, come on, Denzel, enough is enough. And he took me to rehab. After a lengthy process of recovery, I found I had a new clarity and a sense of purpose. And I had a vision of how technology could save mankind. When they first heard my idea, people said, hey, you're crazy. That's because I am. But you know, it's the crazy people, it's the dreamers who make the world go round. Them and the plumbers. So anyway, Dave and I worked on my idea in my garage, and when we came to launch it, it was the most successful tech flotation ever. Even though nobody knows exactly what Commozoid is or does. Not even me. So, I've now invented the Astro Car, an electric car that will travel to the moon. And when I get there, I'm going to prove the existence of space bats. Although, unfortunately, I'm currently suffering a major setback and I can't seem to find a cable long enough. Watch this space, or should I say, Watch that space.
Oh, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles.
Just the most talented, I think, probably of everyone. I mean, you know.
Hello, and welcome to Jazz Club. Cool.
Jazz is a bit of a kind of a... It's one of those things. It's like, for the ignorant, you ask people, do you like curry? And they go, no, I don't eat spicy food. And I go, well, there's a lot of different ones. They go, no, not for me. It's like you go, do you like jazz? And they go, no, it's weird. Well, what we kind of capitalised on was the weird end. We kind of went for the jugular. The kind of jazz we took the mickey out of is what my mate, who is my fellow drummer mate, Chris, would describe as a fire in a pet shop.
John does a great Roger Moore, and we thought...
And a great Whispering Bob Harris.
Yeah, so if he does a sort of conflation of the two. And he nailed it, John, didn't he?
Yes.
Great.
So, you know, you can watch it just on the level of what aside is he going to do next. But there's also, you know, there are jokes in there for jazz buffs.
Yeah. Jazz is a very accessible musical form. Great. And it was a joy to showcase many jazz legends on the television for the first time. Innovative. Oh, acts like James Nance, Donald Strong, Piles Hussein, Jeffrey Jackson, Stamford Brooke, Thaden Boy, Soylent Green, Kumquat, Hornfinger, Thrusk, oh, and of course, Clam on bass. Fabulous. No, really fabulous. Such great memories. I particularly love in that last clip the effortless modulation from B-flat minor to A-sharp minor to the suspended E major 7th via the augmented, diminished, demented, deep-fried D major. Ah, simple, sir. Of course, there were a few acts that got away. Damn. Musicians I wanted to get on the show, but I missed out on. Shame. Like Mississippi Rees-Mogg, the New Orleans Jazz Tax Accountants, Hedge Fund, Ongar, Goose Factor, ooh, the Duchess of York, and Michael Bubble. Bublé? Bublé. Superb!
Billy Bleach was my first character because I used to be addicted to fruit machines, one, and I used to spend a lot of time in pubs just playing fruit machines.
Go on, let's just start. Just going to pay out a mint here. Right, exchange that for a nudge.
He was that kind of quite sort of sad person that was always in the pub, and you know he's quite bright and quite intelligent and clever, but you know he was never really going to break out of the pub.
It's his domain, but he doesn't actually run the pub. But it's always his manner.
The particular thing of helping people with a fruit machine, I used to do that.
Come out of the way. That third one drops right in. £3.20. Oh, ain't come in, that's weird.
But of course, you'd often come in and do it and get it wrong, which is what I do in the sketch. And I've done that before too. And then, you know, you're in South East London and some bloke would be giving you a very dirty look. So yeah, there was always jeopardy there.
Hey, whoa, don't want to do that. No point doing that. Give him the tenner back, right? You give him the fiver and the 50, right? Give him that back. So you take that and you just give him the 3 ones.
Because Simon's a stand-up. He's a character stand-up. And he found a way of making basically stand-up into a sketch, which is if you make someone a pub bore, you don't have to have anyone else replying.
I can't believe I was such a young man when I was on that far show. I looked like Straw Peter. Now look at me, 56 years of age. Who would have thought of it? What else is going on? I split with me bird, which is sad because we've got a kid, you know, but she wanted me to become middle class, make massive compromises in my personality. Dinner parties. I love a party. I love dinner, just not at the same time. We've got a son who's lovely, Kendrick, 10 years old. He seems to be unaffected by our conscious uncoupling. She has him in the week, I have him weekends. Typical Saturday, we rise early, I'll have a chai latte, maybe some muesli with goji berries foraged from the back of an avocado lorry. He'll have a bowl of ketchup. Then he goes and plays football, Hackney Marshes. I stand on the sidelines shouting unintelligible 1970s football comments. In the hole, come square. Kendrick, come square. Drop off. Yes, no, go, give and go. He don't listen. I know this, because one weekend I shouted out Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums at him. Talk us. Brain center surgery. In the hole, talk us. He played exactly the same. Clever.
Do you know what, lad? I really love midwives, right? And I have my baby, Chelsea. The midwife, she was great. I mean, she didn't flinch and she was looking at me down below bits for hours.
Caroline was a brilliant character actress and a brilliant writer. She was a great sort of miniaturist. She could really dig in and do something in just 2 or 3 lines, like her girl on the checkout counter who could sum up someone's entire life through selecting 5 items of shopping.
Organic eggs is just like normal eggs with a bit of shit on them.
Oh, microwave meal for one. Live on your own. Oh. Parmesan cheese. Do you know what? It smells like an old tramp's crotch, that does.
We would always wait for the sketches for Caroline, and she wrote with Craig Cash. And they'd come in very late, the sketches always, and they would turn up on a piece of paper, and you'd look at it, you think, well, is that it? Is that really all they're sending us?
You know they'd done it. They just finished filming something else and got off. We better do something for Paul and Charlie.
But then she would come in and she would completely nail it, and just in that short amount of time, she would do something fantastic.
Great, my dad, but he's so old-fashioned, you know. He still thinks that you shouldn't have a baby till you've left school.
She definitely just had funny bones, Caroline.
Just the most talented, I think, probably of everyone. I mean, you know, she had a real proper waspish wit.
Oh, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles, Johnny Giles.
She spoke her mind brilliantly. Like, I mean, if she didn't like something, like other comedy on telly, you know, really rated by the press and the public, and she'd go, "What's all fuss about? It's shite."
Caroline was touched. I mean, there's no question about that. And I think it was her, not so much deadpan, but that you'd have no notion that she was on her way to say something funny. And she'd just sort of go, "Oh, right." And you'd think she was going to say, "Should we go for a drink later?" or whatever. And then she'd say something, it was sort of beguiling and sort of disarming, totally disarming.
You know my husband, Ken Barnes, right? He come home the other night, there was this awful smell about him. I checked the back of his trousers and there was some lumps there. You know what it was, don't you? He'd shit himself. Simple as that.
She took me around to see her nan, and her nan sat there. And Caroline goes, "Sing a song for me, Nan." She's gone, "Go on." So I sat in her living room, sang her a song. And that's Caroline, you know. She told me to sing a song for her nan, so I did. I mean, there was nothing on. She said, heartbreaking, just heartbreaking.
Do you see that job there? No. She's down south, isn't she? Yes. I'm giving you a piece of cake. No.
That was an Unlucky Elf sketch where he's trying to woo his lady, and he has some problems with her cat. And there she is, as of course, Paula Fish.
A vale portos. Mi nia
pugnatela interior scotcho.
And there she is as Janine, which sort of morphed into the royal family, and I was so pleased for her when she got her own series and was able to develop Janine. There we go.
I mean, we're not big sun worshippers, myself and Roy. We're big fans of the shade. Oh, Roy come down in his shorts one day. I said, you look like an egg on legs. What did I say, Roy?
You look like an egg on legs.
Oh, they did laugh round the pool. Oh, but I got a really dicky tummy on the Wednesday. I said, oh, Roy, my tummy's off. What did I say, Roy?
She said she could have shit through the eye of a needle.
Those Roy and Rini sketches were very funny.
Yeah, they were great. Again, they hit home very quickly, didn't they?
Yes.
When we got on the plane, I said to Roy, oh, don't the air hostesses look lovely in those posh uniforms? And do you know what Roy said? He said, they're all caked in makeup. What did he say, Roy?
All caked in makeup.
It's really observant, Roy, you know. He sees everything visually. But my friend Gloria, she said that pilots marry air hostesses. And I said, some of them do, Gloria, but some of them are gay, which is fine. What did I say, Roy?
They're all puffs and glazes.
You lying bastard, Roy. I hope you crash.
Hope you crash. Well, if you think about that, that's very high concept, really. How can a single man on a packed jumbo crash? It's just inspired, I think, that joke. I hope you crash. No one else. Just you, Roy.
This week, I'll be mostly forgetting.
The logical thing to do after doing the TV was to do the Fast Show live. We weren't quite sure how to go about it, but Vic and Bob got in touch with us and said, we really want to do a live show of shooting stars, but it couldn't possibly sustain for a whole night out. They said, it's going to be pretty shoddy. How about we did a live show, half shooting stars and half Fast Show? There we are. This is the programme for the Live at the Apollo 1998, the Fast Show and Shooting Stars. What a night out. And I got most of the people to sign it, but not all. You probably had to spend quite a lot of money to buy one of these, and it's got very little content. But it was a great souvenir. It really was a fantastic time. And to give you some idea of how long ago it was, look how young Bob Mortimer looks in that picture. The great thing about us is we were all playing old people, so we haven't visibly aged as much as he has.
The Fast Show Live was the first time that I realised what pop stars must feel.
It was That was like rock and roll.
Today, we we have a special promotion on a new line of perfume that's been lovingly created for the older lady. Might be of some interest to you, my dear. No offence.
You just walk out as the character and they'd all go mad and start screaming the catchphrases, and he thought, blimey, this is what it's like. This is what it's like to be in a pop group.
When you would walk on as a character, particularly Jazz Club, I remember. And the place was electric. Go, whoa! Like, and the Apollo's a big venue, the Hammersmith Apollo, and it was sold out every night, you know.
Hello, and welcome to Jazz Club. Nice.
It felt absolutely great, being in the same room as all those Fast Show fans.
Oh, Gary Lineker, isn't it? You know, marvellous, you know, paragon of virtue, isn't it? You know, unprecedented in the modern game, never been booked, wasn't he? You know, boyish charm with a hint of grey at the temples. But can you imagine that face contorted in the throes of sexual ecstasy?
Yes, Ron Manager, Tommy Senior and I, Clive Graham, are back 2.5 decades after we first worked together. The three amigos, right again. Giddy up.
The three bloody stooges, more like.
Oh, the three musketeers, aren't we? You know, D'Artagnan, one for all for one for you, one for him, one for me, in a brown envelope, in the car park of the Doubletree Hilton, Watford. Marvellous.
Yes, indeed. We were quite literally the beating, pulsating, throbbing, sporting art of the Fast Show. What changes we've seen to the game of football over the last quarter of a century, amen?
Amen. Oh, sorry, no, what changes, wasn't there?
Aye, so many changes. Look at the money that's flooded into the game. In my day, we players would go to the game on the bus with the fans. In fact, I used to drive the bus and collect the fares. We joke there.
Well,
you're not wrong, Tommy. The game is now completely awash with dosh.
Well, yes, I mean, it's killing the game, isn't it?
Killing the game.
It is indeed killing the game. And what about player power and football agents?
Oh, the greedy bastards.
Oh, they're killing the game, aren't they? Isn't it? He is... Oh, God, Fulham manager. Alex Stock. See, things are starting to leave me now. Alex Stock was a very optimistic and enthusiastic football manager and pundit, but he'd get very sort of nostalgic and say, oh, FA Cup final day, isn't it? National celebration. Get the bunting out, isn't it? Oh, marvellous. It was so much simpler back in the day, wasn't it, when we were starting out in association football? Small boys in the park, jumpers for goalposts, a little tweak of your opponent's plums as he went up for a header. Marvellous.
You know, if you did that now, Ronnie, my old son, the cameras would be all over you like a cheap suit and you would be all over social media.
Oh, social media. Don't get me started. Killing the game. Too much scrutiny. You can't just get on and play. That's why you see all these players now talking behind their hands.
Oh, yes, isn't it? Talking behind the hands, it's killing the game, isn't it?
Well, that's not really killing the game, is it, Ronnie?
Oh, isn't it? Wasn't it? Aren't I?
Obviously, the shadow of Partridge was very strong, so we were kind of like, what we're going to do. So it was a bit Jim Rosenthal, and he was just a foil for Paul to do his stuff.
But there is, of course, the big one, VAR.
Aye, VAR, that really is killing the game.
Oh, VAR, I mean, really is killing the game, isn't it?
Brutally murdering it.
It's literally slicing the game in half with a metal ruler.
It's throttling the game to death with its bare hands, isn't it? Dismembering it and burying it in a shallow grave in Epping Forest, doesn't it? Wasn't it? Marvellous.
And nowadays you got all these very foreign owners.
Well, some might say, Tommy, they're providing much-needed investment.
Yes, they're saving the game.
They're killing the game, man.
Oh, yes, of course, they're killing the game and they're saving the game. They're killing the game and then saving it, killing it, and the rebound goes out for a corner.
Indeed, gentlemen, but there's something else we've seen of the late that really is, of course, the final nail in the coffin of the beautiful game that we all love, the inexorable rise of the female pundit and presenter.
Oh, with their shrill voices, isn't it? Don't they? I mean, they've even got them on TalkSport now. It's nothing sacred.
Actually, I quite like them. I think they're a welcome introduction. They add a different perspective and stop everything getting too laddish and sweaty.
Tommy Steen there, killing the game.
Are you a real Scotsman? Brilliant came up because I'd got a taxi round to you to do some writing. And I was just like, was it great, really? I just asked someone to point me in and they took me.
You thought it was an amazing concept.
I really did, yeah.
Do you know what? In London, they've got these brilliant trains that go under the ground. You don't suffocate on. Now, fantastic. What about them animals you can get? You can keep them in your house, and they're all furry, and you can stroke them and make up names for them, and they're called dogs. The smaller ones are called cats. It's brilliant. Everything's just fantastic.
What I like, in my memory of the Fast Show, and it is a long time ago now, is actually the sort of range of stuff that's in there. So it was nice to have that technique. It just gave it another little, a little edge. And we were very conscious of the style in the show. So, and that character does encapsulate that.
In Gravity, brilliant. It's fantastic, isn't it? Well, it's not like I wander around going, in Gravity, brilliant all the time. Well, I do,
I remember Jeff Perkins, the producer of all Harry's shows and our executive producer, he said it reminded him of a sort of, like a video, like a pop video.
I mean, imagine going to the toilet without gravity. It'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure how funny the brilliant scripts are, but with that jump cut, it certainly gives them a life and an edge.
Ant Hall's brilliant. In fact...
Then you can take a small pan.
You know mini Kievs? Yeah. On the menu, would they be under starters or main courses? I'll get me coat.
I think I'm responsible for Get My Coat. I was in the pub with Charlie and I told him a very dull story. And Charlie being Charlie, he told me it was dull. So I said, right, I'll get my coat then, and walked off with my coat. And then he grabbed me and said, Bob, could I use that? And I said, well, yeah, whatever, of course.
I tended to be put into Bob's sketches, which was typecasting, again, like Jesse, somebody from the Midlands who doesn't really know what's going on, but is keen. So a very, very personal performance. Because it, could have been me, and was, very often.
He's no Goddard, he's no Tarkovsky. They are artists creating a language of cinema. And as for Bergman...
Hey, did you see that Bergman film on the telly last night?
Yes, of course.
What a complete waste of time that was. 1, it was in black and white. 2, it was subtitled. 3, no one got shot. 4, no one got their kit off. 5, I'll get me coat.
I do remember we did a kind of tribute to Monty Python, where we did a sort of middle-class sketch where we all tried to outdo each other. Instead of I lived at the bottom of the garden, it was I was more middle class than you.
My parents had an open marriage, and we frequently went on holiday with my father's mistress and my mother's lover, and we had some jolly good games of Scrabble as well.
Well, I used to go to art galleries, out of choice. And we always stood at the front of the last night of the proms.
Yeah. Well, I'm secretly gay. I'll get my coat.
Sometimes a long pause is vital.
Ted
and Ralph came to us quite late. We'd known Graham Linehan and Arthur Matthews for a while, since they arrived in England, in fact, from Ireland. We said, have you got any other characters, anything, possibly? And they performed the Tina Turner sketch in the pub by the fruit machine, with Graham as Ted, although he was Bob, called Bob at the time.
Right.
And Arthur as Ralph.
Are you doing anything on Friday, Ted?
Well, there's plenty to do down in the lower fields, what with the drainage problem.
No, you misunderstand me, Ted. I did mean in the evening. It's just I have a couple of tickets for Tina Turner.
All right, sir.
Do you like Tina Turner, Ted?
I wouldn't know about that, sir.
No.
And it was one of those things where there weren't particularly any jokes in it, but you just thought there is something powerful about this and something odd and something funny, but I can't quite put my finger on
It was interesting, wasn't
on
it? Because both John and Simon, and possibly Mark as well, were like, can we do that? And yet there were no gags in it, really, to speak of. We played in the stuff we filmed to absolute silence, the Ted and Ralph, apart from...
You can hear Graham Linehan laughing at the back.
And Caroline. And she was going, no, they're gold. And so, you know, we felt, despite the sort of strange reaction, we knew that they were a hit. There was something...
We stuck with it. We thought, well, let's try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I shall have to be pushing off to Winslow, Ted. I pick up a prescription. So, I'll leave you doing whatever it is you're doing here, and, I shall say goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
Right, sir. Do I love you, my, oh my? River deep, mountain high.
The best sketch is, without doubt, technically, is the Ralph and Ted potato, the drinking game with Ralph and Ted potato turnip. Because it's like one of those Shaggy long story jokes. You don't know where it's going to go.
Ted is in the pub with his mates, involved in a drinking game, and they all insist that I speak to him
and join
using the rules of the game.
Which is a sort of reversal of everything that's gone before, because you've never been allowed to participate. So
under normal
the
circumstances...
irony is not lost on me.
Ralph would have been his dream come true to join in a pub game with Ted and his mates, but this is the one time that he can't.
I'm very sorry. Under normal circumstances, believe you me, I would like nothing more than to join you in your game, but not tonight, please.
Go on, sir, go on. It'll be a bit fun, sir.
Is Ted really...
Tomato, here's aubergine, your potato drinks.
It's all right, we've got a new nominee.
Well, hey!
It's a private matter.
Bong!
When we were writing that, we thought this... Actually, no, this is a really good, funny sketch, which is very funny, but also very sort of bleak and dark, but also quite emotional as well.
Tomato, Ted, aubergine, your potato, wife's turnip dead. Sorry, I mean, tomato, sorry.
I just thought that was a great example of how funny but moving the Fast Show could be when it really got it right.
I think we should always remember Ted and Ralph as they were. This beautiful relationship, frozen in time forever.
Yes.
I'm just putting some more blue in the water there. Do you notice as the day goes on, the colour of the sea changes almost by the minute, doesn't it?
It's a wonderful blue, isn't it?
You stole Reginald's testicles.
I vividly remember my first time on the Fast Show. It was and it was a complete accident, but I remember the year. It was 1999. And you that way like that, I go, whoa. I remember one episode, and it was very similar to the time it was in Borneo. And I looked like that. I'd lost 3 toes. But I blah, 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 like that. I picked them up and I found them again in a second-hand shop in Bournemouth. But I remember going around the corner. I looked back with him. He was a very handsome chap, especially in uniform. But I mean, it was for the one time, like that Mac 2. I mean, she swallowed her false teeth. I came she's gone, he's gone, brother died, sister died, father died, mother died. I let them do some limited fracking. I remember vividly that the whole thing had gone off. Oh, and someone had chiselled the testicles off. Very. Right? I mean, at the time, I'd been eating bats for weeks, you know. I don't know, timeheads, and I was Director General of the BBC at the time. Oh, yes. I upset a lot of feminists, you know? But I mean, real personal, right? And in my defence, I was very, very drunk.
I actually think the Fast Show's pretty timeless. I don't think any of it is kind of dated.
Right, are we going?
My place. Tufnell Park, please.
Where to, mate?
Yeah, Tufnell Park.
I think it was funny. And I think it was about being funny and not being anything else. And that is very, very rare.
This season, I'll be mostly wearing nipple clamps.
I think the Fast Show was definitely the last huge sketch show. There were some great sketch shows after that, some really good ones, but I don't think any show was as big as the Fast Show got.
The ladies like a man in a trouser, don't they, sir?
And out of a trouser.
I expect you're in and out of your trousers all day long, aren't you, sir?
And it was fun. And the other thing is we had real fun doing it. We couldn't believe our luck. When you're filming stuff, that sort of comes through the telly.
26 of the Queen's runs.
Would I do it again? Yes, of course. Absolutely. Wouldn't hesitate. Yeah. It's a joy for an actor to play all those parts, to inhabit all those different realms, you know, and just... But I'd love to write new ones as well. That's the thing. It's exciting. Sketch work for an actor is just joyous, really. I mean, show me an actor who doesn't like sketch work and I'll show you a fool.
Anything you need, go through it with Belinda.
Go for the window. All right.
It was a revelation for us, and I think it was like it was a joy, you know, it really was. It was such fun, wasn't it? Fun, Charlie.
Some aspects of it were. Yeah, well, I must say we really enjoyed the little instructional videos we made for the Fast Show about how to paint, didn't we, Katie?
Yes, great fun.
Yes, painting is such a wonderful activity. Even if you don't think you're any good at it, you can still get out and about in the countryside and just take time to stop and think and look. It's very peaceful.
Very peaceful, yes, most of the time.
I always say that painting is all about paths. The paths take you to other paths that lead to a path that leads you down a path that leads you back up the path to a path that leads on to a cave. It's very dark inside.
I think that's enough about paths, Johnny. Maybe just talk about the painting, yeah?
Yes. Yes, but it's very therapeutic, isn't it, Katie? Painting, it's good for the soul.
Well, it's certainly been a kind of therapy for us over the years.
I'd been trying to write a character which was a very bland sort of harbourside watercolourist painter, the sort that would have a show on an afternoon TV of how to do watercolours. To be painting these very twee scenes. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if a painter like that had the soul of a tortured artist and really believed himself to be this kind of Van Gogh figure?
Love the sound of the seagulls, don't you, Katie?
It's very evocative, isn't it?
It's a lovely sound. Now, I'm just putting some more blue in the water there. Do you notice as the day goes on, the colour of the sea changes almost by the minute, doesn't it?
It's a wonderful blue, isn't it?
It is lovely.
I love playing Katie, to Charlie's Johnny, the painter. That was always very good fun.
And the white walls with those windows there, very dark, almost black.
Johnny?
Black, yes, black. I shall need to get the black out.
Johnny?
Black.
Johnny?
Black. Black. Black for the sky and the sea. Black. All black, like the procession of night that leads us into the valley of despair.
I would always have fun trying to startle Arabella, who was very good at keeping a straight face, because I would never tell her what I was going to do, because I didn't always know what I was going to do when I kicked off.
In The Painter, there was a lot of Charlie. The anger in there somewhere.
Like the endless blackness of space that leads to the chasm of clams. Oh, the monks are troubled and full of woe. I'm a fly, trapped in a bottle of shadows. My eyes are pies, and yours are lies. All lies.
They're destroying our city!
Completely independently, one of our writers, Brendan O'Casey, came up with a very similar character, and he just had this idea that the word black sent him insane. And Brendan was writing these sketches with these beautiful language that he came up with for when it all kicked off. So we put the two ideas together, and it worked really well.
The gulls have plucked out my eyes. We crawl on our knees towards our doom.
Obviously, we've had a lot of challenges.
Yes, you have had some difficult times now and then, haven't you, darling? What did Churchill call it? The dark mood that haunted him? Something about a dog, yes, a type of dog.
A collie.
What?
A poodle. An Afghan hound. No, wait, a Welsh terrier. Yes, that was it. He was haunted by a Welsh terrier called Gareth.
It's not right, Katie. You're sounding quite balmy.
Please, Johnny, can we just talk about painting? Let's not talk about Churchill and his wretched, bloody black dog.
Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, his funny hat, his cigar, his V sign, and his black dog. Black dog, black, 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 like the beetle that sits on the tip of my chimney and says to me, "All right, mate, all right, mate." Black, 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 like the bin bag of loneliness that crinkles at my waist. Black, 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 black. Ladybird, ladybird, what's on your back? I'll follow you about. I'll follow you about. You stole Reginald's testicles. Black! Black! Mother, don't look at me like that. It wasn't me that swallowed the fly with 1,000 black eyes. Black! 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 Like the record that goes around and around and around. Is that a camera? Any lovely rainbows in there? We're all movie stars.
I think we'd better go home now, Johnny. Come along, darling.
Could we stop and get some cakes on the way?
Yes, plenty of cake.
bursting at the seams with comedy. There's something for everyone with Gold on Demand.